Hello, and you are listening to Foundation Gaming, the first of somewhat many in our episodic series, which features Foundation learners from East Durham College, talking to you about an array of video game topics. My name is James Fusco, and I'm one of the lecturers in Foundation. And with me today, we have Josh, Dan, and Jack, three outstanding students. And they are here to talk to you about a range of different topics. But to start us off, Dan, do you mind telling me a little bit about yourself?
Yep. Hi, I'm Daniel. I am a human being that somehow is still alive. Don't question. And I actually do a bunch of YouTube stuff as well.
Oh, excellent.
Well, again, it's still under rickety, and I want to just keep to a certain style of it. Like, just go on and just do it in my own free time. Essentially, go by one thing for it. Do it whenever I want, get up whenever I want. Simple as that.
That's a good ethos to follow. Yeah. Josh, Jack, which would you like to talk about?
Would you like to go first?
You go first.
Alright. I'm pretty generic. I like gaming. I like going to sleep. I also do some YouTube with my other friends, and that's pretty much it.
Excellent. So that's Jack right there. And last but not least, we have Josh.
Yeah, similar story to Jack, just about the YouTube thing and that stuff. Well, difference is that I am doing stories, projects really, but they're on hold right now because I still need time to think really. So, yeah.
Honestly, no, I don't blame you. Story writing can be difficult.
Yeah,
it really can.
Takes a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm especially by myself doing my own story, so it's kind of really hard for me to do it by myself right now. So I'm just gonna take a break from it.
Oh, right. Could you tell the audience a bit about your stories, like what the topics are?
It's still in development, but it's more like a sci-fi story I'm doing. I named the story Perspective because I have an idea of like having like each main characters from each different faction have their own like story to them.
So kind of like Half-Life.
Yeah,
and Sonic Heroes in a sense.
Yeah, pretty much like that. I mean, I was gonna say similar to like the Halo 2 route with the story in that.
Yeah.
But
By far the best Halo game.
yeah, by far the best game actually. Yeah.
No, excellent. So it's going to be a really, really good episode. This it's a pleasure to have you with us. So the episode today will basically consist of discussing the difficulty within games. So as you mentioned, like Halo, there's some very, very difficulties in that, and we're going to talk a few different games associated along that. And the graphical state of games, so the actual the quality and the polish behind these games that are coming out. As you probably agree or disagree, that the games that are produced today are of a higher standard than games that were perhaps when I was younger. But with that, the caveat of it all is there's a lot of issues when games do come out.
Yeah. And I can say this as well because again, I feel like that's one like it's the design of a game, like the visuals of it is one of the key factors of how good a game will be, but it's not this divine trait. I've seen that around a lot. People hating on a game because of how bad it looks.
Yeah.
Like the game could look terrible. It could be literally a potato, but then there's a whole story, like the story and everything else about it. The music could be incredible.
Yeah.
Because it's something I never really understood about it, and kind of why I kind of steer away from stuff like internet stuff like that. Kind of just go on my own pace. It's why I like Fortnite in a sense. Yeah, it's very controversial for everything. It is, but I generally love the game because again, when we play with friends, it's just pure chaos, and I love it.
Absolutely.
And as well, like the amount of games or different series is referenced and put into the game, like Halo, for example, or The Walking Dead. Like there's so much being put in. Even Street Fighter's in it.
By Walking Dead, do you mean the tainted series Walking Dead?
No, TV show Walking Dead.
Oh, so no.
I mean similar characters though,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Oh, you mean Telltale's Jack,
Yeah.
not like Tainted Series?
I forgot.
But yeah.
Oh, Barrett,
Yeah,
that's
sorry
our.
about that. It's just been a personal gripe of mine for a while.
Oh.
It's just I never really understood why people hate games because of like that one detail.
I hate highly graphical games because they're really hard to run on PC.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So we have a PC Master Race gamer over here.
Yeah.
So all of us console peasants can leave the room now.
Oh.
Including myself.
Yeah.
So, as you can probably hear from our discussion right now, we all play different varieties of games, different qualities on different platforms. The question I'm going to pose to you right now, probably come to Josh first of this,
Yeah.
is which game would you find the most difficult?
Oh, the most difficult game? Oof, okay. There's a lot to choose, but I could say, I don't know, Doom Eternal's Ultra Nightmare Run, I guess? Because,
Right.
I mean, it is really difficult. You die once, you have to go all the way back to the beginning.
The beginning of the game or level?
The beginning of the game.
Well,
Like, all the way back. So,
Jesus.
you die like at the final boss, you have to go all the way back to the first level.
Jesus.
And it's torture, by the way. I tried once. I did get the first level done, but I just quit afterward because I know what the other levels are like, and I don't want to suffer. I really.
You know,
I-
funny enough, Metroid Dread just did that.
Did they?
Yeah, they just introduced a one life only, and I'm pretty sure it's not like as hard because I think they still have checkpoints and that. But yeah, it's literally just if you get shot once, that's it.
Really?
game over, man.
Yeah, game over, literally.
Oh my god.
It's like
How
yes,
are they?
like put this into perspective. Like I'm pretty sure all the other Metroid games, like yeah, they were challenging because of the way it's laid out. You know, because it's the thing that made its own subgenre.
Yeah.
But then they decided to throw that in the ring and say, okay, how do you make Metroid harder? Make it a one life only, or add on one life only mode in. And it's like, oh, wow. Yes, it's pretty much just turned Metroid from shoot everything and tank hits to shoot everything and dodge everything. Essentially, that's what it's turned into.
It becomes more of memorizing then.
Yeah, memorizing bullet patterns, memorizing pathings, which I do quite well actually.
A fair few games, most notably, most recently as well, Elden Ring. Has anyone played Elden Ring?
I've seen it, and I kind of want to play it. I've been inspired to play the Dark Souls games now, because originally I didn't want to. Like not because like difficulty of that, it's just don't even find the point in it. But an outside source had finally convinced me to try it. Just like, I finished. I was just watching someone and another streamer told everyone to go watch this other streamer. You know, because they're his friend. He was like, "Yo, go watch them. He that cool." Like, okay, they were playing Dark Souls 2, I believe. And I was like, we were talking in chat, and it was like, you know what? I'll get it, but for my sake only, not because you said so. I go by my own rules.
Man,
But
excellent.
yeah, I'm convinced. I'm thinking of doing that. Maybe streaming it. I don't know.
Good. I think you should. I mean, I'd love to see the amount of raging coming from your as you start screaming incoherently.
I mean, considering how easy I get upset, I'll probably get upset the second I load into the game. It's just like, literally take one step and I instantly thought like, what?
Yeah.
How did I do that?
The game cheats.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Jack, you're pretty quiet over there.
Yeah.
So, could you tell me what you found the hardest game?
The hardest game I recently played was I Am Bread.
I am bread. Oh my god.
no.
Is it basically like a climbing game where you're a piece of bread?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get dirty. If you get too dirty, it just ends.
That
And
game.
as soon as you spawn in, you just flop and you get dirty. So
Oh no.
you don't have much control.
I Am Bread reminds me of that one Flash game. I think it was QB or something.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so basically, you had like 4 keys and you had control the runner's movement.
Yeah.
So basically, the goal of that is just to get as far as you can, but only using those 4 buttons. And if you mess up once, if you go line in your head, it's over.
Yeah.
So, like,
Sucks.
yeah.
But I personally found the most hardest game I've ever came across. It's probably Halo 2. Just it's
Yeah,
notoriously difficult.
I think I understand.
Chuckles.
And if you are a psychopath like many people online
Yeah.
who like to speedrun this on Lasso, So just for the viewers or the listeners in this case, Lasso is legendary, all skulls on, and there's about 15 skulls in Halo 2.
I think.
More with the Master Chief Collection, and so one of these skulls, the Iron Skull, is once you die, you return back to the start of the game, unless you are with co-op and you return to a checkpoint. The time to kill though, like Jack and Josh, you both played Halo quite frequently.
Yeah.
The time to die on Legendary is within milliseconds of a mistake.
Yeah.
You have to make your choices now and then.
I never did. I just stood out and died.
The only thing in Halo I know is to simply watch out for suicide guns, because I'm pretty sure, like, if anything, they're the most dangerous thing to exist in Halo.
Yeah. You know, I'm glad though they don't exist in Halo 2.
Like, imagine they did, it's like, Halo 2 would be the hardest game to exist if suicide guns were a thing in that game.
Yeah, but nothing like the Jackal Sniper.
Oh, the Jackal Sniper.
Yeah.
They didn't even test that out, did they?
No, they didn't.
No.
Good thing they didn't like bring Jackal Snipers for shields though.
Thank God.
So yes, Dan, we've neglected you here. What
Yeah, what about me?
No, start the show. So, what would you say would be the hardest game you've ever came across?
Ooh. Now, see, the issue with me is majority of the games I play are centered around like the skill factor and whatnot. So I don't play a lot of like solo games on that lot.
So, are you more a platforming man then?
Kinda. I will probably say, like, from experience, the hardest game I've ever played. I don't remember.
So hard, he's been mentally scarred, he's forgotten.
Probably.
What about older games? Do you find older games are a lot harder than newer games, or is it the way around?
Honestly, I don't. Honestly, that's a really hard thing to say. Because personally, I don't think so. Okay. I think it could be either way or like some old games could be really hard, but then newer games could also be equally as hard as those old games or even harder. I mean, take Dark Souls for example.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't played Dark Souls, so I can't really say, but I'm trying to think. Oh, okay, I think I'm know now. The hardest game for me, I don't remember now.
He's doing really well at this semester.
I'm sorry, I don't play hard games. I play games for fun.
Okay, that's all right. So, tell you what, we'll rephrase the question for you.
Okay.
We'll be equal. What would you say is the most funnest game from your perspective then?
Oh, Sonic Generations.
So, why do you think that then?
Because I think the way that Sonic Generations works is a both mix of old and new. So it brings all back the classic formula. So it's like 2D side scrolling from Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3. And there's also the modern sections where it's like the boost mechanic from Colors. Yeah, from Colors Unleashed. I think what started in Unleashed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it started from Unleashed onward. But yeah, Sonic Generations, I'm pretty sure it's like the staple of it. I think it nailed the boost mechanic perfectly. It hit the perfect one. And what made the game so much fun, which is how much was put in. Like, again, I haven't played the first time I played it on the Xbox. Like, I had not been like properly experienced in Sonic. All I know is like, oh hey, this looks like a cool game, I'll get it. But now like I grew a bit and I picked it up for the PC again, now I'm playing through it, now I'm thinking, wow, these are actually really accurate and the music for these stages are really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot to a game.
I think, honestly, what also sells it as well as the mods as well. It's just, there's so many mods. But I actually want to throw something else as well for a fun game.
Go ahead.
As strange as it sounds, I'm gonna put Riders of Ether in as well. Riders of Ether, to sum it up, is a fighting platformer game similar to Smash Bros. But the difference here is it's on Steam, which means it has access to the Steam Workshop. which means any character can be put in, which is really cool, in my opinion. So you can have, so for example, you could have Ronald McDonald fight Ultra Instinct Fox McCloud.
Yeah.
Yes, by the way, that is a thing that exists.
Yeah, and I just
And
remember
they are the
actually.
two most overpowered characters, I
That's an
think.
interesting combo right there.
Yeah, it is.
Like literally, because of Steam Workshop, the limits are like the possibilities are endless for what you can put in. You can have Beedrill in the game, and that's just been added.
I think that's what makes me really, really jealous about PC gaming culture. Obviously, come from a
Yeah.
console background.
Yeah, because Rise of Ether can be bought on consoles as well. But because of the lack of the workshop,
Yeah.
the options for those people are not very as endless.
Yeah, no, I understand. And later in the podcast, this is going to be some great points to talk about the impact of mods in terms of graphics, because as say you, Jack, being having a PC, you will have the options to see many kind of graphical packs you can download and new skins and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the question I want to just relate back to with the difficulty of games is, when you complete a very hard game, what kind of sense of achievement do you tend to get? Right.
Achievement. Glad you completed, really.
Achievement unlocked.
Honestly, I have to agree. It's a mix of just how the hell did I get through that to, well, I'm glad I don't have to do that again, until you see a bonus option appeared and you're like,
New Game Plus.
oh.
By the way, I want to throw this real quick. That golden skin, I don't know if it's worth it or not.
Golden skin?
That's for
For Doom Eternal.
Oh, Doom Eternal, right.
For when you complete Ultra Nightmare.
I suppose the bragging rights alone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, bragging rights. What's not to love?
Absolutely.
Yeah. My victory, I just go to the toilet and have a long wee. I don't know why.
That's
But
yeah.
it's constant.
That is
It's like that.
cool.
So-
really cool.
That's turned the podcast into a PG right there.
Oh well, bon voyage, you.
So so you can have a nice breath. For me, since coming from Xbox, I do like a good achievement. I like to have that on my record, just to say I've done this. Well done, James. I can sleep at night now. No more worrying. Dan, what kind of feeling do you get when you? I know you prefer more fun games, but is it obviously some harder sequences, harder levels? Do you find any sort of relief or like, ecstasy of like, I've done this? Thank God I've done
Honestly,
this.
yeah. Well, as I said, what I said with Josh's response, very similar. It's just that mixture of just, well, how did I get through all of that to I'm glad I don't have to do that again.
Yeah.
And even then, I think it's just more just that relief factor. But it's just like, it's a really tough level, and it's like you spend so long trying to get past it, and it's finally over.
Yeah.
And I think the best example of that would be like puzzle games and that, because I know some can find them boring, but then when you find the one who is really nice, it's just hits right.
Yeah. I get you.
No, plus you should have the really cool mechanic to boot it up as well. It makes solving the puzzles really fun and ingenious. Because I've seen that and it's incredible. We'll discuss it later, but yeah.
That's great. Excellent points, guys. I think this is a really, really good time to talk about our sponsor for today. So our sponsor is East Durham College. Jack, can you take us away?
Yeah, East Durham College is responsible for our podcast today and replied us with these microphones that we're using today with all the resources.
They also provide a lot of great educational subjects like for brickwork, childcare, interactive media, and a lot more.
And you can apply today via the website at eastdurham.ac.uk.
So you should go to East Durham College, eastdurham.ac.uk, and get educated. But fantastic organisation, supplies a lot of nice kits.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be here today delivering this. Fantastic. So a nice segue into our next slide here. So you mentioned earlier about mod packs being primarily PC. I know some console games like Bethesda, they tend to have the Fallout Workshop and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about graphics. And the first point I want to just bring to the table is how crucial do you find lighting Do you think a game should be well lit?
It depends on what
Yeah.
you're saying. Like in small, short areas, sometimes they need more lighting, or sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But good lighting is a thing you can't really do much.
Yeah, I'll say this as well. I think what makes for really good lighting is the tone of the situation at hand. So like say it's a really dire situation, like everyone's on the edge, about to go fight the final boss. It's like it'd be like very dull, dim lighting, like normally great greyish colours and that, you see? You know, because it's the final boss, you're going up towards it. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I think I think like in a good point, it's all about the tone. It's all about like the setting and everything. That is like what would make lighting good.
Yeah.
If you have the proper lighting for the proper setting, then yeah, lighting's good.
I think setting's really, really important. Like, have you guys played Alien Isolation before?
Yeah,
I've seen it before. I haven't really played it.
I am terrified of that game. I have to keep. Every time my dad tried to get me to play it, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because I know what that game does, and it's evil.
Yeah. Night terrors.
No. Like in a technical standpoint, it's evil.
So talk about the technical standpoint.
Okay, so the game basically hears you in everything you do. So that means anything you do in the real world, Jesus, that's like wow.
We got there in the end.
The game picks it up,
Yes.
and that counts as making noise.
So I can plug in a microphone or a
Yeah, so
headset.
basically it picks up on that noise, and the alien can detect you from that noise.
you can actually turn that off in the difficulty settings.
Yeah, but I mean, where's the fun in
Right.
that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the immersion alone, as you said, the lighting. I mean, you wouldn't expect playing Isolation in broad daylight because.
It's just it wouldn't make sense. It's a game that makes sense to be played in a very like dark setting. So playing it at night, lights off, curtains shut.
Yeah.
Well, at the beginning of the game, it's really bright until you meet the alien and you're in there.
Yeah. Actually, I want to go back on that point.
Yeah.
Just go back a bit, because remember you said difficulty games, I said skill-based games.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is one I do want to bring up, like, because it makes sense because of that factor, that being Team Fortress 2.
Okay.
The reason why I say it's a difficult game is because TF2 has a lot of mechanics. Like, some are really advanced as well.
Yeah.
Like, some are easy, like sticky jumping, for example, which can be used for Demo Man.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other things like rocket jumping, strafing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also, like, as I said, the skill factor of it, because a lot of classes in the game, which is 9 in total, some are very easy just to pick up and play, like pyro or heavy. But then some, as I said, a lot more technical. So say spy or medic.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm using medic for the example. Don't question me.
I mean, medic dies a lot, so.
Yeah, so it is good to know like how to. Essentially, when you're playing medic, it's like, okay, I need to keep myself and the others alive. How do I do that? Just do things. Okay, cool.
Definitely support class.
Yeah. Medic is definitely support. I will say one thing though. Sniper's stupid.
Of course, you know.
being a sniper class in any game is like, it is meant to be balanced or unbalanced in some regards. Sniper in TF2 is just absurd.
Yeah.
Like being able, so essentially when you get a headshot is 150 damage uncharged. Fully charged is 450. Like that's enough to kill any class, even with overheal.
Yeah.
Just take that into consideration. Oh, but yeah, by the way, overheal, I'm pretty sure like, because it varies from different miniguns, but overheal does adds I think a 25% health boost.
I think so.
So like take heavy for example, it's half I think. Yeah, it's half the health. So instead of being 300, it's 450.
Yeah.
So
on Soldier you're 200 and over here you get 3.
Yeah, 350? No, it'll be
No,
300.
just 300.
Yeah, 300. Yeah, so basically does half of what your health is and add it to that. Which makes sense actually. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is coming from Dan, we need a nerf the sniper class.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd just say, add something to because I feel like what Valve did, make some of his weapons weaker. I feel like was a good approach. The Sydney Sleeper, I think, was a good example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I also just want to quickly drag onto one little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this game, there's an RNG factor.
Oh,
which
there
is, yes, these are called random crits.
I love them.
Now, in the game, you can get normal crits by two factors. By you being on the winning team, or by one of Medic's miniguns called the crit screen.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the normal way. However, in casual servers and Team Fortress 2, there's, I think, what was it, like a third chance? No, not third. Basically, there's a chance where you can get a random crit, which, for a lot of weapons, can be absurd. So, basically, a critical hit works as a 3 times multiplier to some weapons.
A damage boost,
Yeah, essentially. Mini crits, like, I think it's like 1.5?
I think.
I'm pretty sure it's either 1.5 or 1.75 times boost.
Mm-hmm.
But critical hits are 3 times. To put it in perspective, put it on something like Soldier or Demoman. Soldier critical hits do a maximum of 270 damage with crits. And then there's the splash damage as well, which can also kill. And I'm pretty sure that's like around 126 at max.
And the closer you are, the more damage you do.
Yeah,
So-
and the scary thing as well, because if you get random crits with a bullet weapon, so say like a stock revolver, because in the game does damage fall off. So the further away the person is, the less damage the weapon does. Understandable, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, random crits completely ignore that. They ignore fall off. So essentially you're hitting someone as if they're close to you when they're not. So you're doing 120 damage from long range. Again, that's scary to think about.
Yeah.
Like I've used it as well. I've used stock revolver spy.
Mhm.
And the amount of times I got a random crit on someone because they thought they were safe getting away. I feel bad. It's just. Yeah, sorry, that's my rant over.
Oh, that's.
But yeah, so I figured. Yeah, I just remembered about that, so I figured why not? It works.
Right, absolutely. So thank you, Dan, for that. That's it was insightful. So Team Fortress 2, since we're still on the topic of that, it has a very distinct texture compared to compared to like in isolation. So in terms of textures, how do you think that affects the game? And I'd like to come to Jack about this.
Yeah.
What's your opinions on textures?
If they're cartoony, they're more replayable because the graphics don't really age as much as realistic ones. So then you got like Halo 2 for graphics, which aren't really great compared to like Halo 5's graphics.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite.
Yeah, it does show its age.
Yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from. Have you ever found this before, Josh, in terms of kind of like massive graphical differences?
Yeah, I do.
So is there any games out of, I don't know, we might have that golden memory of when you were younger playing a certain title, think this is amazing.
Yeah.
For me, it would have been Combat Evolved or even GoldenEye. And as you come back and relive it as an adult, you are thinking, what is this, an abomination? I don't remember this.
Well, I could think one as Half-Life, for example. I mean, like, I'll quickly say this quickly about the Source edition. Half-Life Source is not good.
Oh,
'cause-
yeah, go.
Yeah, I'll quickly tell you, everything is broken. Just literally everything.
So how's everything broken?
I can explain this.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead. Explain for me.
the way that the storage engine works for some games, some works fine. Like because they've updated it, or some games have fixed some of the issues with it
Yeah.
by making certain things that would counteract the problems.
Mm-hmm.
Valve doesn't do that. They just pop it in and say whatever happens happens. Is why I said that rocket jumping was like a much more like advanced technique than sticky jumping, because with rocket jumping, in Source Engine, sorry. Some stairs are not actually stairs.
Yeah, the ramps.
Yeah,
So you can
yeah.
just slide up them.
This may sound strange, but yes, this is true. Because the way that the maps were designed, the stairs that you see are actually counted as ramps, which you can rugged jump off. So essentially, you can just rugged jump low, you can just swoop up, and then just get like either kill, and then just get kill off.
So, is there any reason behind that, from like a graphical standpoint or a gameplay standpoint? Why ramps instead of steps?
I think it's to save on resources. I would
Well,
think.
actually,
Okay.
I wouldn't say that because
No.
there's one map in Team Fortress 2 that actually has those steps.
Yeah, I know you're on about.
I don't know which map was it.
I know you're on about though, because I remember hearing about that. I can't remember the map name though, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was it's really weird. Honestly, I feel like if we can like describe the best like display of Source Engine being a broken piece of mess and it still being enjoyable,
Yes.
Team Fortress 2 is exactly that. It's literally just the Source Engine being pushed to its absolute limits.
Yeah.
Because again, like I said, there's a lot of advanced techniques in that game,
Yeah.
and it's all because of Source Engine being a broken mess.
Right, I'm gonna return back to Half-Life Source.
Yeah,
Yeah, everything is broken because, well, let's quite frankly, they didn't really play test it. I mean, they did, but it's not like they really did. Like the original Half-Life, like there's something about the texture I need to talk about.
Yeah.
Some of the textures can be RNG. So there's one area in the when you get the crossbow, the walls changes depends on what playthroughs to go in. So like it could be rusty to more rusty to rusty. It's just I don't know how they handle it, but nice. It's just nice to see how it just generates.
Yeah.
They also made the water more realistic, but it doesn't look correct.
Yeah,
with the
'cause-
low polygon.
Yeah, because
Textures.
the water in Half-Life, it's more like just well how cartoonish it is really.
Yeah. Do you find like you lose immersion when you look at it and you think?
Yeah,
it's not very
I
good?
really can't lose immersion to that water, that dangerous, realistic water in my 1998 game.
Actually,
Speaking of flashbacks.
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. I just want to like talk graphics and that. I want to just quickly to go back to TF2 to mention this
Go ahead.
Yeah.
because TF2 is one of the few games, in my opinion, that even when it have its graphics lowered down to its like bare minimum, it's like it literally like potato everything. It still looks beautiful. Like
Yeah.
the way it's primarily because the way the game is designed. Because even like we have everything turned down, even when it's like everything's at its lowest, like the water is just like really still, just like barely see reflections or anything. It's still water. It still functions, and it's just again everything about TF2. It's just. Let me remind you, this is a 15, 16-year-old game now.
Mm-hmm.
Like this game has been out for 15 years.
Yeah.
And like compared to most games nowadays, like Overwatch and that, it still holds up.
I think that's a testament to the community.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The TF2 community is like the best community in my opinion. Just because it's the perfect mix of like people that respect the game for what it is, and you do get some rough berries in the bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that happens with every game.
Oh yeah.
Like every game community, there's always like a few. There's always a few of those kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
But again, TF2 people really just band together and just solve it. It's primarily because of TF2's biggest problem, which is the bots.
Yeah.
Literally, anywhere you go, there's guaranteed at least be one bot you see, which sucks, really.
Yeah.
It does.
On the topic of graphical kind of updates and whatnot, are we all do we all understand the term remaster?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the market has been flooded quite recently with a lot of different remasters and remakes. Most notably to me, Dark Souls remaster.
It's
Master
funny.
Chief Collection.
Yeah, it was funny enough. That's the one I'm actually looking into to get, actually.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about these older games being brought back to life for a new generation to play?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, some would cause some issues. Like, but again, I think that's like with the old gripes with the older generation playing them. But again, for newer generations, I think it's really good. One example I'll take is Sonic Colors, because I only played the DS version, which I think is the best version of Colors in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally like it's the best version of it.
Mm-hmm.
I never actually played the console version.
I have. Well, it's not like that console, but
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was only on in the Wii, wasn't it?
it was on the way before they put it over to Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah. Originally, it came off of the Wii only, but then came out to be that. Yeah, and then because of the remaster, they put it on all the new gen consoles. This includes the Switch and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't they also put that on PC? Because I
Yeah,
know there
yeah,
was a
they-
Sonic
yeah,
port,
they-
Yeah, they
but
did.
Yeah, they
it
did.
sucks on PC.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They put it. I believe it was on the Epic Game Store as well. Which honestly, I've gone some games from there. Really good actually. Which again, something I would highly recommend getting because they do a weekly free games thing. Like a lot of the games I have on the Epic Game Store, launcher, has just been because of that. It's just from getting them for free.
And I think that's one of the best ways to get people to enjoy the game.
Really? Yeah, I think so.
From an Xbox perspective myself, and they give away games of gold. Free
Yeah,
games every-
PlayStation does the exact same thing with the I'm pretty sure it's PlayStation Play or something. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was PlayStation Now, wasn't it?
No.
I think it is. I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to refer to it as PlayStation Play because I think that's what it is. Or PlayStation Play Plus. I don't know. I really don't know.
Whoa.
I don't go on PlayStations. I wouldn't know.
I miss my PlayStation 2.
We all miss our PlayStation 2. It was just a different time for us.
Yes, it was.
I don't. I still have it.
Well, look at you.
We get an F in the chat for the PlayStation fanboys right there.
Yeah.
We are fast approaching the end of the podcast, gentlemen, and it's been a really kind of insightful discussion with yourselves. Before we finish off, is there anything that you'd like to add in terms of recap for our audience?
Yeah, I would like to talk about lighting again. In this last mission of Halo Infinite, there's a boss fight, and it's just completely dark, and there's like red vents just pumping out red air.
Yeah.
You can barely see because I've got my brightness all the way down.
Okay. So how important do you find then, Jack? Like lighting's important in terms of being able to see what's going on in the game.
I like to not be able to see as much as I can. That just gets me more immersed into the game.
Yeah.
Most games, when it's nighttime, it's more like 2 p.m. where it should be like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even light at all.
Yeah. Which is funny because if you go in like caves, they're much darker than the what you just said there.
Yeah.
And then again, there was like a sun underneath the ring, you know. So I mean, that's why it was a bit
Yeah. I also want to recap on something about difficulty as well.
Yes, go for it.
Because I feel like something we didn't touch on was like like boss fights or something like that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even mention one, so I'll go it off. But I will have to address it now. You have not played? This is a huge spoiler warning. So, because I'm about to go into Pokemon Legends Arceus in the post game. So yeah, you've been warned. If you haven't heard that, you have a skill issue. Anyway, right. So at the end of the game, because at the start you meet someone named Volo, which is the ancestor to Cynthia, known as the hardest champion in all of Pokemon. This is 100% true. She is literally the hardest champion in any Pokemon game. Period.
So what makes her the hardest champion?
Really, because of her team and the way that Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl added a competitive feeling to it now. So, cause her team is absurd. I'm pretty sure it's like, I know you two don't play and you don't know like the severity of this team. So, basically, she has a Garchomp on her team, which is her ace. Garchomp is considered as one of the most strongest Dragon type Pokemon to exist. Simply because of Cynthia. Like, Cynthia's Garchomp is scary. Like, it's an actual monster.
And is that scary as in a psychological impact on you, or?
Oh yeah, no, psychological. Yes, absolutely. No, and I was playing Platinum, and I got to that fight. When I got him come out, I was petrified. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? No, okay. So in Legends Arceus, Volo uses a similar team to hers. Except for one, because one Pokemon wasn't in the game, so Game Freak opted to swap it out for a different Pokemon instead. That being a Hisuian Arcanine instead of a Milotic.
Yes.
But we'll see. This fight is very, very unique because it doesn't follow the same Pokemon terms. Because you know, in every Pokemon game, trainers have a maximum of 6.
Yes.
Volo cheats the system.
He brings more than 6.
He brings 7.
Well,
One of them is
that's
good.
just rude.
Yeah, no. Here's where it gets even stranger, and even more stupid. Because it's Giratina, which is basically just the devil, or basically just the same as like the Lucifer of the Pokemon games. Because betrayed Arceus, which is the god of Pokemon, sent into distortion mode, all that junk.
Yeah.
See, again, this is where it gets strange, because it has 2 phases. I have to repeat myself here. 2 phases.
2 phases.
Yeah.
I thought you said faces.
Yeah, I thought faces.
Yeah. No, phases. But no, because here's the thing. That's not a thing in Pokemon. There's been no Pokemon battle where there's been 2 phases in the same battle.
This isn't even my final form.
Exactly. Like, listen, you fight Giratina in its altered form, and then once it's said and done, you thought you beat it. The music ramps up to its platinum theme,
Yeah.
and then you find in the origin form, which is stupid because it's guaranteed to move first every time, and it's your own one Pokemon. And it's weak to that Giratina. You're dead. Simple as that.
There's a noticeable trend, just since we're on the topic of boss fights, of second phases, like you've mentioned there. Resident Evil. Have you played the newest Resident Evil game?
No, I haven't played Resident Evil in a long time.
No. So a fair few bosses in games like, say, Resident Evil, or you could even go to steps of. Trying to think on the spot, eh? But the premise I'm trying to go towards is some bosses you beat them the first time and you return back as a second form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's kind of during the same fight or later on in the fight as well. Some more lazy interpretations. I'm coming to Jack and Josh here with Halo 5 Guardians.
Yeah.
How many times do you fight the Warden Eternal?
7 times.
And does it change?
Nope.
It just gets more.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
all it does is just adds more wardens. That's it.
Yeah. So I mean, bosses are a massive difficult
Yeah.
spike.
Actually, yeah, there are also some can just last for so long. One I actually wanna, a really interesting one I wanna point out. It's from a Metal Gear Solid game. I can't remember his name, but essentially it was a really old man who had a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you mean.
Yeah. What was his name? Do you remember?
No, I don't, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So basically, the way it works is literally a mixture of being hunted and you are the hunter. Essentially, the mix of the two.
Right.
So, I'll just quickly wrap it up by saying, if you time skip the game, by the way, to like a week ahead of the system.
Yeah.
Once you start the game back and go to start the fight, he's actually died.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Solid Snake has a really cool system where it's like it's aware of the game changes and that.
Yeah, that's what I love
So
about
as the
it,
system clock changes, the game adapts to that, which is really cool. Also, sorry about that, I had to crack my knuckles. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there.
No, do you know? Thank you, gentlemen. It's hopefully we get the chance to produce more podcasts like this. It's weekly or monthly, but
I think that's a lot of great opportunity.
absolutely, and hopefully our target audience, our faithful listeners, have enjoyed this and give us some feedback, guys. Let us know in the comments section. Instant message, and let us know if you enjoyed it and what you'd like to see or hear more, and if you'd like any more guest appearances from yourselves, students or external for that matter. We'd love to have you on and talk about your gaming history, your gaming attitudes. Because I just take a moment, guys, just to kind of go over our sponsor again, just to see how grateful we are for East Durham College for providing our kit. So Jack, do you want to explain?
Yeah, well, basically East Durham College, as I said before, they provided us the microphones, headsets, and the laptop we're using today to record it.
As well as just giving us a lot of great educational purposes, really.
And again, you can apply to the website.
Yeah, that website is eastdurham.ac.uk, so go ahead and get educated. So we hope to see you all next time. My name has been James.
Josh.
Jack.
And Daniel.
And this is Foundation Gaming.